Shalom, shalom, shalom. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. You know, I love that name. Shalom, shalom. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything all set up here. Got my tablet on the side, my notes with me, got my Bible. All ready for a little bit of a chat? Let's talk. Let's talk. Day. Shalom, shalom. As you guys come on board, I want you guys to put a number 1 in the chat if you are prepping. If you are one of my lovely family members who are taking heed to the warnings and the alerts and you are prepping, put a number 1 in the chat. I want to see who's doing what. If you don't mind, I would like for this to be kind of interactive. You know, I like to talk to you guys, but at the same time, I want you to talk back to me. And I know you have no issues doing that because you guys are always so generous and you're always talking back to me. So I appreciate that. Oh, Donna H., it's good to see you. Shalom, everyone. Angela Dixon, Tamika Roberts, Karen Porter, T. Washington, Laura D., Tina C., Monica, Shalom, family. Okay, you just ordered some seeds? Fenugreek seeds, huh? Fenugreek sprouting seeds. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, girl. Shalom, shalom. Yes. You know what? You guys are turning me into a YouTube live streaming person. Who would have thunk it, right? I was on here, 2 days? I was on here yesterday for twice. You guys were asking me to come back, so I came back a second time yesterday. And here I am again today because some of you guys, you sweet, lovely family members, suggested I come back on. So here I am. You guys are creating a monster, a YouTube monster. But no, I am so glad that you guys have decided to join me today. Who else has come in? Shalom, Asia, beautiful. Shalom, Veronica Rodriguez, sweet, sweet sis. Shalom, Kim K. Shalom, shalom, my beloveds. Rainy Ray. Shalom, Tamisha Wilburn. Did I get you, Angela Dixon? Shalom, sweetheart, if I missed you. So here's what we're doing. I asked those that were on a little earlier to put a 1 in the chat if they have been or if you have been prepping. If you have been prepping, stocking up for your family, put a 1 in the chat. And I see there are quite a few ones that were in here from earlier. Okay, I see you. I see you, family. I see you. My way, shalom, shalom. So now, I have another question for you. Those of you who are now prepping, and I know some of you've been prepping for quite some time, but some of you are new to this. Can you put in as simple terms as you possibly can in the chat some of the obstacles that you have faced since you have begun prepping? What have you been dealing with as far as obstacles, things that have gotten in your, that have attempted, let's put it that way, to get in your way? What are some of the obstacles that you have faced? Okay. Okay, Tamisha Wilburn, you're saying money. That's a good one. Space. Ezekiel 35:5 says space. Jatina Harris, homelessness. Oh girl, space. Monica, finances. Darlene Houston says space. Okay. Family. They called me crazy. Angela Dixon. Yes. Okay. My way. No family help. Okay. I see. And although we may have put one simple answer in the chat, some of these answers may be duplicated amongst us. Because I mean, I have family members that think I'm a little wacky, and that's okay. They think I'm a little wacky. Well, they've been thinking that for years. That I have been warning them, alerting them, and I see things and I know things, and I'm just a little different. I admit it, and I'm okay with that. But I can say this: throughout the years, they're seeing the things that I've been seeing, and they are. I think they're paying attention. Whether or not they're actually doing a whole lot about it, I can't really say. Yes, they are, but I think that they are taking notice, and I'm hoping soon we'll see some things change. So as far as space, here's what we want to do. Well, you know what? Before we tackle space, let's tackle finances. Okay? Let's tackle finances. Homelessness, Jatina, we're going to be praying that the Father will provide a home, a safe haven for you. Okay? So that's what we're going to be praying for. We're going to be in agreement with you on that, Jatina, if that's what you're facing right now. Okay? Because the Heavenly Father, He is concerned about each and every one of us, especially you. Okay? So we're going to be praying about that situation. All right? Now, let's tackle finances. Finances is a big one, and it's a big one, but I have found, and family in the chat, help me out with this, okay? I found that if you do it inch by inch, it's a cinch. I know you've heard that before, right? If you do it inch by inch, it's a cinch. If you do it in your dollar wise, you can also do it. And if you do it by thrifting, if you do it by going to places like the Dollar Tree, Big Lots, things like that, places like that, it's possible. It is doable. So family, pipe in and help out with this. We have family members that are dealing with finances as an issue that is keeping them from prepping. Offer some advice. Tell us what you have done in order to save money, budget as you prep, and put things to the side. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about what are ways that we can actually save money and still prep, put items to the side. You're welcome, Jatina, sweetheart. You're welcome. Veronica Rodriguez, you're saying that your family call you crazy, no help from no one. We'll get to that one, but let's talk. Oh, I love it, Rainy Ray. I love it. Let's talk about the money. Let's talk about the finances, okay? So Rainy Ray has offered a wonderful solution, and that is food banks. They are still operating. Some of them are, their levels are low sometimes, but if you can't afford to go out, then that's a possible solution, to go to a food bank. And another solution is there are oftentimes family members that have things that they don't want. I've had family members pick up items that they didn't really, they liked, they thought they were going to like, but they really didn't like it. And so they were getting rid of it. Rather than throw them away, they would offer them to family members. So if the family is offering things that's free, and it's something that you could possibly put in your stash, if it's something that has a shelf life that's fairly decent, you can add to your preps as far as food. And you can do the same thing with supplies if they're getting rid of anything. Garage sales are another area that you can tap into for preps at lower prices. Garage sales. Okay, so we're saying food banks. I like that. Churches. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, you know what else? I like that. Pamela Montgomery at Zion. Shalom, sweetheart. I like what you say. You said do second jobs to earn money for preps like babysitting, household cleaning. You know what? They're calling them side hustles. Okay, they're calling them side hustles. And I have a few side hustles myself. As old girl here has a few side hustles. Now you guys know I have the website, www.marysheffer.com. So I have the website, which I am in the process of. I'm going to start altering it. I'm not going to have a lot of the items that I offer today. I'm going to switch it around a little bit, and there's going to be more homemade things, handmade, handcrafted items, natural products, things like that. And I'm going to move a little bit away from, and I'll probably have T-shirts with, the graphic kind that have the wording on it. Things that are uplifting, things that are inspirational. I'll probably have T-shirts and tote bags and things like that. So I'm going to switch that around a little bit. So if you're shopping with me, bear with me and be patient, okay? Because I'm switching it around. I'm removing a lot of products and bringing in some new things. So I do that, but I also have side job. I'm on a platform called Poshmark. I have 3 different accounts on Poshmark that you always have something, especially in your closet, that you're not wearing. It's in good condition. Somebody out there would appreciate it. So I list my clothing. Many of them have tags on them still. I can't wear, can't fit, or they just didn't look good on me. And so I will post those and resell those to those that are on Poshmark. That's a side hustle for me. Um, you know, there are other things that we can do. That's a side hustle. It's not a bad thing. You can put together, and I'm looking into this one here, but there is a way that you can put together journals. People love journaling. And so there's a way that you can put together journals, that you design yourself, and you can sell those via Amazon and some other venue. So I mean, look into those things if you're interested in side hustles. Okay, these are just some of the things that I'm interested in doing, but I love it, Pamela Montgomery at Zion. You saying that side hustles. I agree with you 100% on that. Okay, what else are you guys saying? Yes, and side hustle again. Who is that said that they're having get my glasses on my head right? Oh, I missed it. Where did it go? Oh, Kylie Buchanan. Shalom, sweetheart. You said you're having a yard sale to get rid of tons of useless stuff, then using that money to prep. I absolutely love that. Yes, that is one way that we can do it as well. So I'm hoping those that were talking about finances, finding it hard to do it. I'm hoping that the tips that we're giving you, right now, and the tips that are in the chat are helpful to you, because that's what we want it to be. We're on this journey. You hear me say this all of the time. We're on this journey together. And we need to help each other. Even if you're in another state, there are things that we can still do to help each other. Okay, so visit the garage sales for things that are cheap. Go to the thrift stores. Do a garage sale yourself to sell items that you're not using so that you have money to prep. Go to the big lots, the thrift stores, the Dollar Tree, places like that. Go to your local churches that are that have food banks, or just food banks in your neighborhood in order to pick up supplies and items that you can put in your storeroom for prepping. So these are all ideas that you can use to get your prep going, to add to your preps. Let's put it that way. Shalom, shalom, Nicole Fox and Sheila Foster. 12 gauge. Shalom, it's good to see you. Karen Porter. Okay, and then Donna H mentions consignment store. She's going to drop off a bunch of shoes at a consignment store. When those sell, the shop owner gets a piece of the pie, and then you get a piece of the pie of the sale as well. And you can use those funds to, again, buy yourself some preps. So you guys have some really, really great ideas. Okay, 12 gauge says she sells seeds. So, hey, family, if anyone is looking for seeds, 12 gauge has seeds. Seeds and quarter nix quail eggs on Amazon to help pay her bills and to prep. So, there's another one. I like that, Nicole Fox. Nicole Fox has another idea. Look for things that are free. Craigslist, free stuff that maybe you can clean up and flip and resell. Okay, that's another great idea. Twelve gauge says she's under Glasgow's. Am I saying that right? Glasgow's goods on Amazon. So look for her if you guys are looking for seeds or or any of the other things that she may have. So bless the sister there. Okay, Pamela Montgomery Zion. Zion's girl says sell designer items. You can buy them from Goodwill, and that is actually true. You can buy name brand items from Goodwill, and many times you'll find things with tags on them. You can resell those items. So we're going good here. I love it. I love it. I love it. One of the other things that was mentioned was, okay, we talked about finances. Let's talk about space. What do you do if you don't have the space to stock up on your supplies and your food goods, your first aid supply goods, and all of the other stuff? What do you do? How can we how can we maximize our mini spaces? That's what we want to do. How can we maximize our mini spaces? Now, I'll start out, but you guys pipe in. We're in this together. You guys pipe in. I'm going to ignore that one for right now. I'm not ready for you. Okay. Under the bed. That's very, very good. Under the bed. There are, I tell you, I like Big Lots, the Dollar Tree. What is the other one called? What is the other one? Dollar General. That's the other one. I keep forgetting it. Dollar General. You can go and get these containers. There's plastic containers that they're low so that, they're not very deep, but they're wide. Okay, they're wide or long. And you can store things in that, whether food items or, first aid or whatever, your meds, whatever else, you can put those in that container, and you can slide that underneath your bed. If you've got a bed that, is fairly low, there are containers that you can buy that are fairly inexpensive that you can put inside or underneath your bed. And okay, Pamela, I like that. Buckets that you can stack in your closet. If you're in an apartment you can get one of those tubs. I know the tubs with the tops to them. You can get a few of those, and go to places like Harbor Freight, and you can get some of those moving blankets. So depending on what your area is that you live in, the temperature or the weather, depending on what the weather is like, if you get one of those big tubs, you can put things in those big tubs. You can protect it inside the tubs with the blankets, and you can put that out on a patio, so long as it's not in a place where people can actually get it. They don't know what's in it because the containers are not see-through. So that is something else that you can do. If you've got space on a patio that you're really not using, you can put some of those tubs out there, and make sure that you can kind of seal it up pretty good, and you can put non-perishable items in it and insulate it. Like I said, with the blanket, you should be able to store things that way as well. So what were some of the other things? Oh, what about Sophia? Shalom, shalom, sweetheart. It's good to see you here. And Samantha B as well. Uh, the Most High has blessed me with a camper. All praises to the Most High. I'm looking for a stationary location to park it to start prepping again. Jatina Harris, that is wonderful. Um, you might want to, well, depending on where you're located at, you may want to look or check out, go to onenationonepower.com. Shalom, shalom, everyone. So write that down. Go to onenationonepower.com. And there should be some information out there on how to contact the elder there, or his wife. And there are locations that they have put together. I don't know if they're still open for, looking, that people can actually go to, but there are different locations that people are they put their campers on, or the tiny homes and things like that. So go to onenationonepower.com and see if you can get a hold of the elder there. I don't know where you're located at, and I don't necessarily want you to put the information out there, but if you're looking for a place to park, if you're looking for a place to be, if you're local to them, that may be an avenue for you. Just throwing that out there, okay? Storage bins, and put them under your beds, put them under your tables. Okay, under the bed is a good one. Shalom, shalom, motivational moment with Andrea Braxton. Shalom, sweetheart. It's good to see you. Under your sink, Winker says, plutonium. Wow. Unibrow says, I put smaller items in the pockets of clothing in the clothes hanging in the closet. That is unique. That I wouldn't have thought of. That's good. Levon Dallard, shalom, shalom. Let's stay on point, plutonium. Do I have any of my moderators on tonight? Shalom, Allie Joe Place. Joe, shalom, shalom. So one of the other things that we talked about is, what do you do if your family thinks that you're crazy? What do you do? I know that there are many of you that are out there and you're plugging along all by yourself. So what do you do? Okay, Donna H, I like that. Now we're going back to what do you do? And you say you have 5 gallon, two at a time stacked behind your sofa. So my sofa is pretty far away from the wall. But then you put a nice kind of paper around them and then you put some plants on top of it. So you can't really tell what it is. That's brilliant. I love it. Sade, shalom, shalom, Sade. Shalom, who did I miss? Risha. Shalom, shalom. Um, yes, my way. Keep prepping. Don't stop. But when do you have too much? When is how much is too much? When do you get to the point where you say how much is too much? But let's continue to talk about what to do. We'll get to the how much is too much in just a few. But what do you do when you have family members who are not on board with prepping? How do you handle them? Now, I did a video. I'm going to go back to that. I did a video and I talk about this. I share it with you guys that my husband was not on board with me when I initially first started prepping. It took him 9 years to get on board. And then when he got on board, he went flying with it. But it took him 9 years. And the rest of my family, my children, they're all grown now. But my children and my siblings and such, all, I was, I was a little different. Let's just put it that way. I was just always a little different. But I think they understand where I'm coming from now because they've seen so many of the things that I've talked about come to fruition. Okay, so I'm not so strange now. But just like you, I've been, I'm the crazy one. But we're okay with that, right? We'll be the crazy ones with full stomachs when the stuff hits the fan, right? Okay. Yes, Nicole Fox. Oh, well, let them think what they're going to think. Pray that God will open their eyes, but keep on track. Yes. Don't let it stop you just because somebody else is not, heeding the warnings. Don't let it stop you. You keep doing what you need to do. We are peculiar people, aren't we? Great state. That is absolutely true. I accept that because you know what? We are set apart, aren't we? We are a set apart people. So we're not your average everyday persons, are we? We're not. We are set apart. But what I used to do with my husband and he wasn't so bothered by me prepping because he knew that I was very frugal and I didn't go out and splurge on this and that and the other. I didn't do frivolous things like that. And so I would get excited when I would go and find something that was a bargain, that was a deal, and I would come home and I would share it with him. Whether those items were prep items or not, it was exciting to me that I was able to find a bargain. And so I would come home and I'd share it with him, and he was excited because I was saving money. But he didn't really care that I was prepping. It was just not something he was interested in. So I would just find bargains. I would find things that I felt that he would be interested in as well, but I would find bargains. I'd go out there and look for things that I could get for, little or nothing. And I'd stock up on those things. And then I got a lot of my information via YouTube channels. Early on, there weren't a whole lot of preppers that were out there, and there certainly weren't a whole lot of women preppers. And the ones that were out there, honey, they were They were bikini bathers, if you will, and they were not uh, getting subscriptions because of what the items that they were prepping. They were getting subscriptions because of what they were wearing or lack thereof. Okay, that was what was out there early on when I was out there. A lot of them, a lot of those type of women, and some of them are still out there, and they have tons of subscribers, tons of them. And way back when, I didn't even think about getting on YouTube myself and and trying to talk. So it wasn't until the Most High talked to me and said, get busy, that I got the nerve to do these type of videos. And of course, when I'm out here, I'm fully dressed, and that's what it's all about. uh, Shalom, shalom, beauty in the light. Shalom. It's good to see you here. I might need you tonight. I have a little something different going on. So if you need to, and something is in the chat that shouldn't be in the chat, you go ahead and put them either in timeout or just go ahead and send them to the moon. All right. I appreciate you being here to support me, beauty in the light. I appreciate that. So again, if there's something that gets out in the chat and you see it and it's something that shouldn't be, you go ahead. You make the decision. You're on it. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Yes, unibrow. It wasn't called prepping. Unibrow, you said 40, 50 years ago, it wasn't called prepping. It was common sense to have food in your house, canned foods, and meat in the chest freezer. Well, you know why? Because it wasn't a, oh, well, you know what? We're out of bread. Let's just go down to the supermarket. You didn't do that because you couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was called living at that time. It was just called living. That's what they did. I learned from my mom when she would go to the supermarket, she would make sure that she had dish soap, let's say, or soap to do laundry with. She would make sure that before she was, to a point of it, the container being empty, there was always a backup, always a backup. So she always made sure that she was ahead of the game. She taught us to do that. My siblings and myself, she taught us to do that. And again, it wasn't called prepping then. It was just, it was just living. It just common sense, things that made sense to do, right? So I agree with you on that. That's right. Donna H says, my concern is water. Amazon sells foldable 5-gallon water containers and they're thick. Your 1-gallon water bottles will not last long. They will spring a leak because they have seams, and that is true. And if you're using the milk containers that are the plastic milk containers as well, they have a tendency, depending on how thick or thin the plastic is, they have a tendency after a time to leak as well. And ask me how I know. I found out the hard way. We had containers that were, standing for a while, and they began to leak. But here is a way that you can kind of work around that, and that's this: you can rotate your water out, so it's not sitting for months on end. Let's put it that way. Okay, so you could, especially if you have a garden, if you have plants, like I have my plants behind me to water, you can take that water that you've had sitting, let's say 2 months ago, you can take that, use that water and refill those containers. Or if you feel that those containers have gotten weak, you can put them in some newer containers and let those sit, but rotate them out so they're not sitting for too long. Oh, I better not say that too loud. My mom does watch my videos, but who put that on there? Let me see. Okay, Rainy Ray, I love it. You say, I've purchased prepping stuff for my parents And instead of storing it, they eat it. I can relate. I can relate. I do the canning, I can foods, and I have to kind of talk with my mom sometimes about the food. A lot of times, I'll give her something and say, okay, mom, this is something that you can put in your prep, or I'll give her canned goods and tell her she can eat these, and she won't eat them. She'll sit them on the shelf, and I'm like, so what did you think about the can? Blah 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 blah. And she'll say, well, I put that up, I stored that up with such and such and such. And I'm like, you're supposed to eat that one. So, and I can't fully get her to rotate things out either. So in some cases, honey, you're just gonna have to prep and put it to the side at your place for them. Okay, if that makes sense. Sometimes we have to do a little bit more and go a little extra mile for those that we love. Okay, so that's something that you might want to consider if you have the room and to do it. If you have the room to do it. Well, the problem, okay, 12 gauge says the saddest time in American history is when multi-generational families came off the farms to seek employment. We need to go back to farms. Well, I somewhat agree with you on that one. Uh, it is a sad time, and there's I go back to like my family. My family had according to my mom, a nice sized farm. And I'm sure that there are others because I've heard others speak about this. In my case, in my family's case, we feel our property had been taken from us. Um, and it was all racially motivated. And, when things like that happen, there wasn't a whole lot that you could do. So um, we had farmlands that were stolen. And I truly believe the word when the word tells us that what was taken from us will be given back. And I truly hold on to that. That, what goes around comes around. It does. It does. And so in some cases, people left the farms for employment in the cities, but in some cases, that land was taken from people, illegally taken from people, because they had the power to do it and they had the law behind them, not because they were doing it the right way. The law was behind them because they were rotten too. And they were running the towns or the villages that these people were living in. So, I have got like it when it comes to the farms and the farmers today, you know, I have my viewpoints on that, and they're personal to me. So I'm not going to go too far into that. I'm not going to go too far into that. Okay, so we got off track. I got off track. Sorry, guys. Don't forget personal products. That's correct. Kim Nation is saying. So, where were we at? We were talking about what to do when your family isn't on board with you and how do you handle it. You keep prepping. Did anybody put that out there? Did anybody put that out there? You keep prepping. You do your part. And eventually, and pray. And pray that they'll come on board. And eventually they will. My husband did. Took him 9 years, but he did come on board. So just pray about it. Always take everything to the Father. Everything. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small for him to handle. He can handle it all. Jacob Henry, what about off-grid living? If you can do it, honey, more power to you. Because you're pretty much, if you're off-grid, you're removing yourself from the system, pretty much. And if you can live a self-sustaining life, out there, you're healthy enough that you can do that. You've got the land to do it, and you've got crops. You can put crops in, you can put animals, you can take care of animals out there. That is a wonderful way to go if you can do it. But not a whole lot of us are in the position that we could actually do that. And to go back a little bit with the farmers, we walked away. Many people walked away from the farmlands, like our sister was saying, to go into city type jobs. But if you look around you now, the farmers are really struggling. A lot of them are really struggling, and they're not getting a whole lot of assistance from the government. And those that are willing to play the game, meaning they're destroying their own crops, they are being paid. But those that are wanting to do things the right way to sustain crops for people like you and I, they're not getting a whole lot of help. They are struggling. Shalom, shalom, one nation, one power families, Miriam Yah of Bethany. Yes, shalom back to you, sweetheart. Dynasty Tribe, shalom to you too. No, you're talking about my family. Is it still in our name? It would be in my grandfather's name. Um, you know what? It's something worth looking into. I never thought to do that. But it's something worth looking into. I might have to do that. No, Donna H, you can't put a 55-gallon tank in there. No, honey. You have to work with what you can. Work with what you have, I mean, okay? So you know you're going to have to be practical as far as your space. But can you prep? You certainly can. You certainly can. You do your part, and guess what? The Most High, He'll do the rest. He'll do the rest. Dynasty Tribe, I'm going to have to look into that. Thank you. I will. Gloria Washington, shalom, my sweet sis. Shalom, shalom. So now, what did I miss over in the chat? Catching me again. Yes, that's right, Lakeisha Williams. Shalom, Tina C. And Joy K. Okay, so Tina C says, yes, so true, Mary C. My grandmother's parents had land in Louisiana, and they take it from her many years ago when she moved to Las Vegas right after World War II. So it was so long ago. Again, in our family, the same thing. And when I talk with my mom about it, and she's it hurts her heart because it was where she grew up. And they don't know how it was taken, but it was taken. So anyhow, yes, it would be nice. Dynasty Tribe, you're saying glad to be here. Family laughs at me and my husband. We want to live off grid. I I have a confession to make about this living off grid. I would love to be on a little bit of land that we could grow some plants, have a garden, have a few animals. But I tell you something, I've kind of, in my old age, have kind of gotten used to having some of the amenities. Okay? So, can I live off grid if I have to? Absolutely. But if I don't have to, I'm not going there. Only when we have to. Now, I don't mind being off and away. That's a good thing. But if I can keep my electricity, if I can keep my running water, if I can keep my toilet, okay, I would like to. Have I lived in a time when I had to go to an outhouse? Absolutely. Yes, I have. So I know what it's like. I also know what it's like have running water in your home because we had to go outside. There was a community like pump, water pump. When you needed water, you went to that little community water pump and you pump what was made out of that heavy pump. You pump that pump, put in the water in the pot, and you drug that pot into the house, and that's what we did. So when you need to have a bath, you heated your water, you pumped that water, you heated it in the heated it in the pot, and that's what you did, right? So can I do it? Absolutely. Do I want to? Not really. And I know that there's some of you lovely family members that feel the same way, right? Jane Stevens says, Gray State. I live in a mobile home. You find places to put stuff. Yeah, you've got you make spaces in places that you wouldn't think of. One of the family members mentioned just now that if you've got clothes in a closet and they have pockets, you can put stuff in those pockets if you have to. So I thought that was ingenious. So that's an idea also. You may not be able to put a whole lot in those pockets, but it's another thought, another tip, an idea that someone could possibly use. Okay, so let's get to the title, excuse me, of this video. Let me see what you just said. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Get better soon, Unibrow. Get better soon. I'm sorry to hear that you fell and broke your wrist. And it's kind of put you back a little bit, and that happens. That happens. So, you take your time. It's not your time to be prepping right now. When it's your time to be prepping, the Most High will make sure that you're able and available. Okay? Shalom, shalom, Grammy Yah. Shalom. It's good to see you here. Now, Grammy Yah, who just came on, Grammy Yah did a video today. Now, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. This video you can find on her channel, or you can go to my playlist under canning and you'll find her video. She did a video that is absolutely wonderful on canning beans 101. Okay, and I believe it was pinto beans. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Grammy. But it's an excellent video. She goes step by step. If any of you are out there and wanting to know how to can your beans, go and make sure you watch that video. Support our sister, okay? I just wanted to say that. 12 gauge, going back to the title of this video, prepping, how much is too much? How much is too much? Thank you, Grammy. And it was pinto beans. That's my husband's favorite. That's his favorite. And I told her I'm right behind her on it because I need to step up my game and get some more canning done. Dynasty Tribe, I tell you, you're saying you've decluttered. I could imagine off-grid is work. Okay, all of this prepping is work, especially when you are rotating your goods. It's work because you are not only rotating, if you're good at it, you're also recording what you have. When you move something out and put something in, replace it, you're recording, you're updating, it's work. It is work. If you are prepping and gardening, you bring your harvest in, you're canning your items, and then those items, that's work. Gardening is work. Ask anyone that puts anything in the ground or in a planter. It's work. It's not just, oh, let me go and get a tomato off the tomato plant, and you go in the house and you just have that tomato. No, there's prep work that you have to do along the way with that. So it is work. You cannot be lazy. Absolutely cannot be lazy and survive. You just can't. So if you are looking to go to Zion with the rest of us, you can't be lazy. We can't have that. You got to be a worker, and that's how those little ants survive. They work together. We have to work together. You can't be lazy. So this prepping is not for the lazy. It's not for those that want somebody else to do it all for them. No, it doesn't work that way. You're gonna have to do some work. Canning beans is probably one of the easiest things to can. I also in my arsenal of videos, I also have canning videos. So please, family, go see some of my canning videos as well, because I'm hoping that they will help you to get the canning bug and prep for your family. It's a good thing, and it's a way that you can provide natural ingredients that you choose. You decide what goes in your. And I'll tell you that when the family gets a taste of your food that has been canned, they won't want the other stuff anymore, because canned food tastes so much better. It really does. I'm not just saying that. There is just something about canned food. It tastes so much better. It really does. Am I right, Grandma? Yeah, it does. Dynasty Tribe, one of the things that we talked about when you don't have the finances to go out and buy the groceries or the food that you need or some of the supplies that you need. One of the things that was mentioned is to go to food banks, visit your church's food bank or your local food bank. Go and see what they have to offer and stock up on some of those things. Okay, it may help you to help your budget to stretch a little bit further. Okay, so we did talk about that earlier. So how much? 12 gauge, I think I saw it in there that you said something about, is there such a thing as too much? Can you have too much? When do you determine it's time for you to stop prepping? When do you determine that? And I'll tell you something. I have been prepping for many years. I think I may have told some of you how long I've been prepping for. Um, it's been a while. Okay, it's been about a dozen years. Okay, and I'm saying that to say this: do I still prep? Absolutely. Every time I go out, I am always thinking ahead, always. And you guys should be doing the same thing. I'm always thinking ahead. And now I told you to take it today, and was it today or yesterday? My days are blending in together now that I'm on YouTube every day almost, right? But I kind of said to you guys, take inventory, take stock of what you have. Now, while we're in this time of the quiet before the storm, is the time for you to look at what you have, assess it, and see, is there anything that you need to add to it that will help your survival, your family's survival? The CDC, they started out way back when with saying that you needed to have for your family at least 3 months of food. Okay, that's how they started. 3 months of food in case of an emergency. And then they said that, and I don't know the exact amount, but they said there's a certain amount of so many gallons of water per person that you're going to need during that time frame. Okay, so they had an amount they had 3 months of food and so much water to uh, to maintain your family during an emergency for at least up to 3 months. Well, before the pandemic and everything, I think it went from the 3 months to 3 to 6 months. And you guys pipe in the chat, and if I'm saying it, I'm off a little with my time frame. Okay, pipe in, but the last I think I read or heard that from the CDC was anywhere from 6 months to a year. Is that correct? 6 months to a year in the event of an emergency. And that is just in the United States. Other countries are telling their people to stock up. This country is not really. So other countries are telling their people, stock up. Thank you, Grammy Yah. Yes, everyone, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please consider subscribing. And if you haven't already, like Grammy Yah is asking, please hit the like button. And if you subscribe, make sure that you hit that notification button as well. And you know what? I had, who was it that was telling me? Was it Terry Ann? I don't know if she's on tonight, but Terry Ann was telling me yesterday that she was not getting my notifications. So she had signed up to get the notifications, but she wasn't getting them. So I heard my elder say it before, and so I just kind of said, okay, maybe that works. And what he suggests is if you're not getting the notifications, that you unsubscribe from me, then resubscribe to me, and then re-hit that notification button and see if that doesn't put you back in the on the list to get my notifications of when I upload a new video or when I go live. So we'll see if that works, okay? And if it works, you guys let me know. But that's one of the suggestions that I've heard other people, especially my elder, he says that. So if you're not getting the notifications, hopefully that will work for you. Yes, yes, yes. When you're prepping, if you have fur babies, don't forget your fur babies. Don't forget your pets. Shalom, shalom, dog mom. You know what, Jane Stevens, you say, I think a lot of Americans don't take things seriously as our I'm assuming you're saying other countries do. And I think that they're not taking it as serious because our leaders aren't talking about this. Not really. Now, we did have President Joe Biden. He did come out and say that there was going to be a shortage of food. I do believe he did say that. Now, I'm not saying that because I heard him say that, but I'm saying that because I heard someone else say he said it. Okay, because I don't really listen to those guys. Can I be honest with you? I really don't. I really don't listen to those guys. But I did see, I think, a video or something like that was out there, and they were saying that he was warning people, gave a little bit of a warning that food was going to be on the short side. Well, no duh. That was my thought on it. No duh. You see everything that's going on around us. You need to, I'm thinking that this country needs to step up and do what China is doing, do what some of these other countries are doing to make sure that the people are ready for when a emergency happens. And I kind of already told you guys beforehand, I believe that, if we're waiting on one big massive event to occur before we say that the stuff has already hit the fan, it's coming. There's some big things coming, but we're already in a state of stuff hitting the fan. Okay, when you're paying the high prices that we're paying today for gas and the food, the prices in the food that just keeps rising, people are being laid off left and right. Stores are closing. We've got. Let me tell you, I heard this today, and it's off subject a little bit, so bear with me. But I thought it was interesting. Okay, we just went through Pride Month, right? And I kind of mentioned it beforehand. We keep repeating things that don't make our Heavenly Father happy. We keep doing. It's like we're just, we're putting it in His face that we don't care. Some of us, in this country and other countries are really, really bad with that. Well, God is not mocked. He's not mocked, okay? And we had the Pride on, and they've gotten so bold with things on the and on the ads, and just so very bold with a lot of this. Well, and I hope I don't offend anyone with this, but what goes out there comes back, okay? You can't do things and not expect it to have an impact on you, especially when you're doing things that are contrary to what the Bible says, okay? You cannot expect to live a blessed life when you're not living a holy life. You understand what I mean? And again, I don't mean to offend anyone, but we have this new virus that's out there. It begins with an M, and then two words. The first one begins with an M. The second word begins with a P. Have you heard the news on this virus? Who it is hitting heavily? Have you heard that? GAYS. It's hitting them heavily. Yes, it is. So, we're at a time in our lives. This is not the time to be playing with our Heavenly Father. This is not the time to be doing your own thing. We're too close to the end. This is not the time to be messing with your eternal salvation. No. This is not the time. He is not mocked, okay? And he's showing the world. He's not sitting back. He's angry about this business. So much of what's going on, he's not happy with it. Would you be if you were a father? No, he's not happy with it. So we have that. And then we all heard about, and this is the devil. The devil is busy, I'm telling you. We all heard about the parade shooting, right, on the 4th, right? Now let me ask you a question. How many of you heard about the other shooting that occurred during a fireworks event on the 4th? That 10 people were shot and 3 people were killed. How many of you heard about that one? Not the Highland Park one. Shalom, brother. No. It wasn't in Indiana. Wait. Oh, yes, it was. I'm sorry. Yes, it was. I had to look at my paper here, my notes here. Yes, it was. So many of you didn't hear about it. Now, you know how the devil is? I'm going to show you how the devil is. The Highland Park one, and evil is evil. You guys hear me and hear me well. Evil is evil. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I'm not on the side of black. I'm not on the side of white. I'm not on the side of red. I'm not on the side of green. I'm on the side of right. I want you to hear that, okay? But when we see, I pray for eyes to see and ears to hear. And if it's spiritual, I want to make sure I'm seeing and hearing. Okay, so I pray for these things. So let me say this. We all heard about, and it's been broadcast all over every network you can think of. It's all over YouTube, the Highland Park shooter, okay? About him, you've heard about the victims, the people that they lost their lives, and that's a sad thing for any people to lose their lives, families to lose mothers, fathers, granddads. It's a sad thing. Across the board, it's a sad thing. But how the devil operates on a level where he highlights one and he pushes the other one under the rug. And how does he do it? He does it based on race. The devil is really into race. Do you notice that? He's really into making sure that there's a division of the races. He really does. He works that, to no end, he works it. So what happened? We have the shooting in Highland Park here in Illinois, And then, which is a good portion of the victims and the shooter, I believe, were all white, Caucasian, right? Sad event. Condolences. My condolences go to the family. Wrong is wrong. I don't care what the color is, right? And then we have the one that happened in Gary. 10 people shot, 3 people killed at a fireworks event on the 4th of July. Same thing. And it's not televised. Not everybody hears about it. Nobody's giving condolences because we don't know about it, right? Why? Because these people are people of color. You see how the devil works? You see how the devil works? The devil runs our network news. The devil does. And is all into making sure I'm going to make this group of people look like they are the absolute monsters. And I'm going to make these people look like they're the angels. And that's how they do it, to divide. And again, I go back to you. Wrong is wrong, right is right. And I try to see with eyes that the Father gives and ears that the Father gives, so that I am not on this side or on that side. I try my best to make sure that I am for right and not a color, okay? But you'd have to be Stevie Wonder to not notice the difference between the two of those. You would have to be Stevie Wonder. We can look at those things and we can acknowledge that they are what they are and understand who is behind it all. The devil is behind racism. He is the one that is behind the divisions of the people, okay? And we have to acknowledge that. We have to look at that, see it for what it is, and be able to say, you know what? I will not let that divide me. I will not let that make me hate my brother because my brother has light skin or my brother has dark skin. I will not let that divide me. We have to do that. Absolutely, T. Washington. You say Satan is the ruler of the air or the prince of the air. I forgot the exact wording in the Bible. You're close enough, but I get what you're saying. Yes. That's just another distraction. Beauty in the light, the Georgia Stones. It's not just another distraction. You know what? Here's what I'm noticing. I told you guys that there are. I kind of warn the women, and I'm really getting off subject here a little bit. We'll get back to the how much is too much in just a second, but I do want to bring this up. I warned the women yesterday about going on dates with men that they really don't know a whole lot about, and asking you guys to pray before you do that. Pray and ask the Holy Spirit to give you guidance, to give you discernment, so that you know whether or not you're going out with an evil being or whether or not you're going out with a young gentleman that you know is worthy of your affections. Okay, you need to do that. You need to pray about it first. So tonight, I'm going to not only warn those women to be careful. Tonight, I'm going to warn the young men. You know, if you have young men in your family, warn them. Warn them, because see, the devil is trying to take them out. The devil has been trying to take them out for some time. But here's what he's doing. He's using these men, young men. He's using them, and what it is he's using them by working on their base desires. So hear me when I say this, okay? He's working on their base desires. They are targets for him. So they are, he's getting them to get into their emotions. And when I say he's getting them to get into their emotions, it's if they are asking a young lady to go out with them and the young lady says no, they feel some kind of way about it that they didn't in the past. And anger rises up, and they're walking out those feelings more so now than they ever did before. And it's because they're hearing this voice that's telling them to do this. She's this way. You shouldn't take that from her. Blah 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 blah. They're hearing these things. So what the devil is doing is he's working on their base desires. And so we have to come against that. That's a demonic attack. Okay, that is a demonic attack. You are seeing more and more and more. Just watch YouTube. More and more of these young men are attacking these women because they either said, no, I don't want to go out with you. I mean, they're doing some really, really crazy things right now. And my thought on that is they're targets. The devil is saying, and many of them don't get into the Bible. So no cover. They don't get into the Bible. You'll have, on the average, it's always been more women get into the faith than men, especially our younger men. And that's just the way it is sometimes. So we have to pray for them, pray to bring them in, pray to keep them covered until they come in to the knowledge, until they can come in to the belief, the faith. Okay. So we have to cover not just our young women, we need to cover our young men. Because if they're not under the cover, you know what I said yesterday? They flip that switch. And the next thing you know, you have someone in your family who is a mass murderer. You have someone in your family who has harmed another person over something that they never would have reacted that way in the past. They never would have done that in the past. All of a sudden, they're acting crazy. All of a sudden, they're doing things outside of their general nature of what you knew them to be like. So we need to cover them until we can get them into the fold, if that makes any sense. So that's all I wanted to say on that. I wanted to make sure I made a point of saying it because I said, you know what? I prayed, I told you guys that we need to cover these young ladies and they need to be careful. And then when I was in my prayer time this morning, I was given this message that our young men are targets right now. They're open. They're wide open to demonic attacks. Because what the devil does is it uses their natural urges to, their base desires. They just get heightened. And when they get heightened, the devil, he works with the mind. So then they get into their feelings, they get into the anger, they get into all of that. And it gets out of control, just completely out of control. But know this, family, not just the young men, you and I, we are going to see, just look for it. We're going to see, and remember Mary C. said this, we're going to see more and more people step out and do some really strange things. And when they interview their family members, they're going to say, we didn't see this coming. This person was not like this. You're going to see this. I'm telling you, the switch they will be flipping these switches left and right. You're going to see a lot more of it. So look for it. Okay? Look for it. Tina C., you put on the whole armor. That's correct. You put on the whole armor. You said you can be minding your own business and be sitting at a bus stop in the traffic or just walking and they will follow you. You put on your whole armor before you leave that house in the morning or whenever you leave. I agree with you, Beauty in the Light. I agree with you. It's something's changed, right? We know something has changed. And they cannot handle their emotions are gone. I mean, they just, when I say gone, not gone, their emotions are just off the chain. Okay, just off the chain. Well, Tina, see, I don't know about babies being Christian or baptized because that's not really biblical. But we can do more than just birth our babies. So if you know mothers in your neighborhood, you know what it is. The old African proverb says that it takes a village to raise a child. So I'm going to tell you, if you've got somebody in your neighborhood, you know about them, a mother that's young and just doesn't have the wherewithal to do or to know what's best for her children, pray over that family. Pray over them. Pray over the babies. And if you can introduce the word, if you can introduce our Heavenly Father to them, that's our duty. That is our duty. I'm out here on YouTube, but we have an obligation to our brothers and sisters in this world. We have an obligation to talk to them about our Heavenly Father. We have an obligation to tell them about salvation, to tell them that this world is not our home, that there is a better place and a better way of doing things, that it's up to us. You may be the only image of Christ that woman or that young man sees. So let him or let her see your light. Be a light in this world. That's our duty. And you know what? If you stop and you think about it, that's the least we can do. With all that the Father does for us, that's the least we can do for him. Yes, we are, Jermaine. We are we're supposed to be the light of the world, right? The Great Commission. Yes, T. Washington. All right, I like that, TNT. Jesus looked at Peter and told Satan to stand behind him until Peter was converted. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So what have I been missing? All right. So I don't want to keep you guys too long. I've been on here already an hour. See there? So here's what we were talking about. Let's get back on the subject. And you forgive me for bouncing around because I do that from time to time. But how much is too much? Can you have too many preps? When you start getting to the point where you forgot what you prepped, that means that you're not looking at your stash and you're not going through an inventory, right? So when you start getting duplicates of stuff, and you feel like you could do without the duplicates, share those duplicates with someone else who is in need, who can use those items. Don't throw in the towel, sweetheart. Your support is right here. You're struggling this season, Dynasty Tribe, but don't give up. Don't give up. You're here for a reason. If you're on this chat tonight, you're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. Ask the Father to help you, and he will. So as I was saying beforehand, it's been a dozen years for me that I've been doing this. When I go to the store, chances are highly likely that I will be bringing something back, even if it's just one thing. And again, you don't have to go out and buy a truckload of stuff all at once. You pick up along the way. I pick up things along the way. We use things, and when we do, we replace them. And then sometimes I'll find something that I hadn't even thought about, and it's like, oh, this will be good, and I'll pick it up. So it's always a good time. It's always a good time to prep. Remember that. It's always a good time to prep. If you have $1.25 and whatever tax that they charge you in your state, you can at least pick up one item if you go to the Dollar Tree. One item. They have canned goods, they have rice, they have beans, they have socks. So if you're putting a bug out bag together and you need to have a pair of socks in there. They have socks, they have t-shirts, they have band-aids, they have cough medicine, they have cough drops. You can get items from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. Even if you're going in there once a week, that's once a week that you can put something in your bag. Don't give up. Keep prepping. You can do it. And you're not alone. You've got a family on this channel. We're all doing this. When you get to the point where you're feeling a little low, you can get on here and send us a comment. Put a comment in there. The rest of the family, they go through the comments just like I do. And they will respond. If you're needing prayer, put it in the comment section. They go through the comment section just like I do with prayers. And they will pray for you. We're in this together. You're not alone. You are not alone. We are a family. You know, there's sometimes I would just love to just reach into this camera and just give you all the biggest hug that I could give you. You know, I'm so concerned about you sometimes that I really wish I could do that. I get emotional. I do. But you're not alone. You can do this. You can. You know what? If you have little ones, they depend on you to do this. Do it for them. Do it for yourself. If you have elderly people that you love, do it for them. You can do it. You really can. So how much is too much? How much is too much? I would say there is no too much. Not really. Because if you have extras, those extras you have, you probably stored them up not knowing it. But the Heavenly Father, He knows everything. If He's got you storing up extra, He's got you storing up extra for someone else. Pardon me. Because someone else is in need. I care about you guys. I do. And I come on here so that I can help you. In any way I can. I do. So, wasn't intending on going in that direction. And I did say that I wasn't going to be on here too much longer. Shalom, Terry Ann. Shalom, shalom. And Jane Stevens. I'm hoping, did we answer the question of how much is too much? If the question has been answered, can you please put a number 2 in the chat so that I know that we're all on the same page? Can you put a number 2 in the chat? If I have managed to answer the question, how much is too much when it comes to prepping? Okay, I'm seeing the 2s. I'm seeing the 2s. Are there any questions that you guys have in regard to prepping? If I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you I don't know the answer. If I can help you with it, I will. Okay, if there are any questions, thank you so much. I see you guys. I see the 2s coming through. I see them coming through. Shalom, shalom again, Miriam Yav Bethany. Shalom, sweetheart, and a highest love. Shalom, shalom. And Melissa Ann Q. Shalom, sweeties. Nothing separates our love. TNT, that is so true. So true. I don't know what's going on. My eyes are still, they're still, they're still a little wet there. But I'm not crying, right? I love you guys. I really do. I love you guys. Dynasty Tribe says, please keep me and my husband and our 7 kids in prayer. We will do just that. We love Christ and spreads his word despite your struggles. We will do just that. Family, our sister is asking for prayer for her family, so please keep them covered. Also, I don't see anything in here as far as questions, so that's good. That's very good. But here's one request that I have, and that is this. We're on this journey together. We're one big old happy family, right? We need to pray one for another. We need to pray for each other. So if you have any prayer needs, you don't have to be personal about it. If you want to put in the chat some of the things that you would like this family as a whole to pray about for you, and you don't have to be personal and put your so-and-so's name or what have you in there. But if you have a prayer request, things that you want people to pray for you on, feel free to put it in the chat area or in the comments on any of my videos, because I'm telling you, this family is so wonderful that they will go through the comment section and they will let you know that they're praying for you. So family, do what you do so well. Please continue to go through the comment section and continue to pray for your family members. Continue to comment back to them. Because many of them are reaching out because you're the only Christ they see, or you're the only family they have. Okay? So if I can't get to them, you can. So never leave a family member hanging out there, okay? I try my best to go through and comment when I can, okay? You guys continue to do what you do so well, all right? Can we do that for each other? Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. And again, if you have not subbed, please sub to the channel if you feel that this is a good channel for you. And then also hit the thumbs up again, please, so that the video can get a little bit more attention. We're trying to bring this bodies in. We're trying to alert them so that they know about the Most High. We're also trying to make sure that they know about putting some food to the side so that they can survive, them and their families. We all know that the best prep that they can have is the Most High, though, and His Son, and of course the Holy Spirit. That's the best prep that any of us can have. But on this channel, we'll talk about some tips that you can learn, like canning and other things, to make sure that your family has what they need to survive. So on that note, thank you, Melissa and Q. Thank you for saying that it's a great channel. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. Thank you. We love you too. You say we love you, sisters. Rough, L.O. Trevelyan. I never say that right, I know. So, maybe one of these days I'll get it. I love you too, Lakeisha. So anyhow, family, I did want to get on here today, and again, the prepping was the topic. If you have other topics of interest that you want me to speak about, put it in the chat or put it in the comments section, and I'll do my best to come out with a video or a lesson or something like that, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, to do that. How's that sound? So to all of my moderators, thank you so much for your support and your help. I really appreciate every last one of you. You are beautiful. Thank you. I love you guys. I love you, love you, love you. And I'm going to let you go so you can have the rest of your day, night, morning, whatever it is for you, where you are at. Enjoy it. I love you, but know this, our Heavenly Father, He loves you so much more. Shalom, family.